suddenly everyone in office wants to buy a car.
So I found something interesting, and that's the 20% rule. Look at this Excel sheet here. This Excel sheet will calculate your affordability, but the second calculator is the most important calculator, which is the TAZ calculator. Let's start with the affordability calculator first. First, you put your annual income, which is 10 lakh rupees I've assumed over here. You can obviously change it. Then you put in your income tax to get your net income. Now, in this case, there is no income tax, so we'll let it be at 10. Then we'll put the price of vehicle X showroom. I'm putting 15 lakh rupees, but remember, X showroom means exclusive of all other taxes. So you have to include it. Call up your car dealership, ask them, on-road price kya hoga, get that breakup and include it and put it in this Excel sheet. So we have road tax and others. If you're getting accessories, other things put in, please add all those costs. Then we have expected down payment. Now, generally, the expected down payment is 20% of your total on-road cost, which in this case is adding these two up. 20% is roughly 3.2 lakhs. The loan tenure and the interest loan. Make sure you get the exact details from your bank so you know what to enter here. And you'll finally get the magical number which will haunt you for the next 5 years. EMI amount 26,882 has been debited from your account. Platform number 8 पे आ चुकी है. Now let's see the running cost. Most people actually don't calculate this. So if you have, say I have already calculated in the comments because आपकी तादाद काफी कम है. Now I want you to think that the fuel cost per year is 47,000 and over a lifespan it's 3.3 lakhs. The value of your car that you paid 16 lakh rupees. And you're spending 3.3 lakhs on just the running cost. Now what I'll do is I'll divide the fuel cost per year by 12. I'll get 3,929. I will add the fuel cost and the monthly EMI. That means your EMI is not 26,882. It is 26,000 plus the fuel cost, which is 30,800. It's almost 31,000. But mentally आप सोच रहे थे लगभग 26,000 है. But actually it's 31,000. That's a big difference. And I've not added the other costs yet. Now let's move on to the part we all hate, but we must do because the government says we must do it, which is insurance and maintenance. So the insurance premium is 25,000 rupees. Please make sure you try to get a Zerodha insurance because it's really, really useful. Don't just get a third-party insurance. The annual maintenance cost, about, let's say, 25,000. Then you take these two numbers, multiply them by 7 years to get your lifespan cost. So that is 1,75,000 plus 1,75,000. So I'll add this total yearly cost and then I'll just divide it by 12 months to see what is this extra cost that I'm adding. Oh, interesting. So this is being added to 4,167 rupees a month. Wow. So if I add my previous EMI to this new cost, suddenly my every month cost is now almost 35,000 rupees. Now let's go to additional costs. You have annual parking expenses. Now I know this is different for everyone, but I have to assume something. So I've assumed 10,000 rupees. I've also assumed some tolls over here. Kuch family trip mein jaoge, you'll go somewhere because on Saturday night you felt like having those murthal ka parathas and you left at night, you paid the toll, made unbelievably great memories. So you have to add those costs. And now we have a lifespan cost. Let's also add this and see what we get. 10 plus 10 and then I'll put these curly brackets and I'll divide it by 12 months because this is a yearly cost and I've got 1,667. So I'll add this, my previous EMI to this expense. Now I know my EMI is now 36,644 rupees. Now let's look at the total ownership summary. You have a buying cost, you have running cost, you have insurance, you have additional costs. The total cost of ownership is not 16 lakhs as you thought. It's actually 27 lakhs 52,943 rupees. So we can see in the Excel sheet, we already have annual cost of owning a car is 3,93,000 and some rupees. Affordable? No. Why is it saying no? Because it's not 20% of your disposable income. And disposable is basically the salary you get after tax.
But my salary will also increase, no?
Your salary?
Yeah.
So you're saying if your salary increases, then it becomes more affordable?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do something. Let's also include inflation since you're also including salary. So I'll assume salary increment of 8%. I know a lot of you are very good and you'll get more than this, but please, let's be realistic. 8%. Inflation will keep at 5. Actually, let's keep it at 6%. Now, let's turn this into a 7-year table and see and compare your expense to your income and see what is the affordability then. So year 1 to 7, I have net income. This is increasing by 8% every year. That means we start with 10 lakhs and by 7th year, it's almost 16 lakhs. Beautiful. Then we have down payment. This is the same. The down payment and EMI stay the same. We have the running cost, which let's assume increases by 6% a year. ये तो सोचा ही नहीं था आपने. Then we have insurance and maintenance. Insurance will stay the same, but maintenance can increase a little bit. So I'll make the increase in this little gradual, but there is some increase. Additional cost also gradual increase. And we have the total cost. Now the last column is the most important, and it will show you the percentage of your net income versus how much you're spending on the EMI. But remember, this affordability calculator is not as important as the TAZ calculator, which I'll do next. So you can see it goes from 37% all the way to 26%. I still think it's kind of high because it should be under 20% as much as possible. So now there are two ways to actually solve this issue. The first is if you change some of these variables, like the cost of the car, obviously everything comes down. So if I change the 16 lakhs to say 12, everything changes. Another option is to actually change the down payment from 20% to a much larger number. So let me change this 20% to say 40%. These two things, once you change, that you do a higher down payment and you do a smaller car, you actually affect your overall EMI a lot. And you can see that the percentage of net income now has come down to 29%. Now you'll have to keep adjusting these variables until this becomes around 20%. Remember, the higher down payment you're able to pay, the less the EMI becomes, the interest also reduces, and the pressure to pay every month a large sum also decreases. Now it's time for the interesting bit, which is the TAZ calculator. Actually, can someone take this? Because we don't need this calculator anymore. I need you to find a notebook and a piece of pen and paper, and I want you to draw a line between it. And on the right, write the stuff you want to own, like an iPhone, Jordans, and so on. On the left side, I want you to write 3 to 4 experiences that you think are out of this world. Don't go too crazy, but go little crazy. And if it's between 1.5 lakhs, it's probably just the sweet spot. Put those experiences in and see if you can actually afford them. In most cases, if you plan, you will be able to. Now, I want you to, next to these, write a rating of what do you think is amazing. We actually did this with a bunch of people in the office, and people started rating the experiences higher and the things lower. And everyone paused for a moment and said, "Why are you making me do this?" I said, I wanted to understand whether you want to own things or whether you want to experience things. And everyone said, we love Dil Chahta Hai. And the younger people said, we love Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and we want to live that life. Then I said, if you're optimizing for experience, then why are you thinking about owning stuff? Because when you have an EMI, you won't be able to do any of these things. From 20s to say 40s, you have lots of energy and you can actually do things. Shouldn't you be optimizing for experiences? Things no one is doing. Things only you can do because you have the freedom of cash. Once you figure that you can optimize life for experiences, nothing feels the same. Everything changes because now you're leading a life with an inner compass, with something that gives you happiness. Your work becomes better, you're better with your partner, you actually produce more creatively because you feel a life which is more fulfilled. I want you to think about what these experiences are. Tell me in the comments, because once you experience this, the only thing you will ever think about is this.
Azadi.